Guys, I feel like I'm on a call marathon today. I've got a 9, a 10, I have 11. I feel like this is all I'm going to do is Zoom calls today. But anyways, lots of exciting things that are happening. So Emily, this is our Push to Diamond group. We started this group. Okay, so we're in our 4th week now. So this is the 4th week. And it's a lot of these coaches in here. It's actually our whole organization. Anybody that wanted to participate, there's actually like 170 coaches that make up this group. So some people work full time and they'll come back and listen to the recording after the fact. But the coaches that are in here either are trying to regain their diamond status, they're trying to advance to star diamond, advance a spouse or significant others business center, or they're themselves trying to advance to diamond for the first time. So we have a wide variety of people that have started, 4 years ago, like yourself, people that have just started and have been a coach for, a year or less than a year. So lots of different personality styles that are a part of this group. And we are really trying to arm people. Coaches are great at running effective challenge groups. They're great at supporting their customers and helping them get started. It really is like this ability to be confident at sharing the business opportunity, what that looks like, getting over their fears, and then even just like the whole, I feel like I should be further along right now. And so one of the things that, I don't know if this is part of what you were going to say, but if you will kind of touch on this fact that you've been a coach for 4 years. And so when you're even doing sneak peeks or talking about like income, how do you kind of address that situation where you're like, oh gosh, maybe people think I should be making more by now because I've been in this longer. Like what do you do even to kind of address some of those thoughts? Because I know people think that and it gets into their own head. So with that being said, we're excited. Are you number 7 right now?
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. That is really awesome. And so you went from being diamond last year to number 7.
Yeah, so I'm currently 1 star, but tomorrow we're 1 coach away from being 5-star qualifying.
Wow.
So I'm from 1 star to 5. So
it's just like that compound effect. Like you've been just turning really, really hard to get there. So and if you see like a whole year probably of intense focus and effort in order to get there, and I know people always sort of look at, oh my God, what is she doing? But you have to understand, like, it wasn't like you snapped your fingers. There have been very purposeful activities that you have done that have gotten you to that point. Maybe some things that you said, this is not going to get me there, And so that's maybe what we want to kind of dive in and look at that today. And before I turn it over to you, one of the things, so I'm reading Made to Crave with my challengers in my challenge group right now. And one of the things they talked about, which will relate so well, is this concept of like your garden. And when you walk past a neighbor's house and they have this beautiful flower garden and they're out there kind of tending to their flowers, the first thing that people will say is like they envy. Oh, that person has a beautiful flower garden, or, that person has a beautiful body or a beautiful business, whatever. We tend to like envy what that person has. But what we don't realize is, especially with the garden, think about like cultivating that soil and planting that seed and then watering it every day and then pulling the weeds. And so there's all of this time where you actually have no flower that you are tending and giving up, sacrificing and being intentional and being consistent. And you're not watering once a week, you're every single day, you're showing up. And so then you can have the fruit of labor. And it is about, people want the garden, but they don't necessarily want to do the work. And so I want you to lean in today to what Emily's saying, like where in your business are you just looking at somebody else's end result and you're envying that spot, but what is the work you need to do? Like, let's get real with it so that we aren't like sugarcoating it and that we know it takes work and discipline and sacrifice to get there. So, Emily, I don't know a whole lot about you. So I want to know your story. So if you will share a little bit for us, that would be awesome.
Okay. I'm Emily Fauver. I currently live in Louisiana, but I'm from Oregon. I'm a military spouse. So we've had our fair share of different places. I've been a coach for 4 years, but like I was telling Melanie at the beginning of this, I don't like saying that because I didn't really see my potential or put my whole heart into it until about 1.5 years ago. And it took some pretty brutal things to happen in my life for me to realize how much Beachbody meant to me. And I've learned something very early on, but it didn't really stick with, like, I didn't see the meaning of it until probably this last year. Is like when bad things happen in your life, lean into Beachbody, and most people push it away, you know? So I'm like living proof of what leaning into it can do for you. And so I'm going to share a little bit about that, but off of like what Melanie was saying at the beginning of the year, I had to have like a brutal, honest conversation with myself. And I like sat at this desk that I'm at, and I said to myself, I cannot do the same thing and expect a different result. So like every year, so I've been a coach for 4 years, the past 3 years, I've gotten all my elite points, but can never seem to get the diamonds. And that's discouraging. So I sat at this desk and I was like, well, you keep doing the same thing. No wonder nothing is changing in your business. And so I've been telling my coaches, if you want something different, you have to do something different. So I just really had to look at like my social media, even my invites. I was inviting 10 people. I was like, well, this year it's 20. I never really went out and found my tribe until this year. I went out and like handpicked them, which was so scary for me in the past. And, you know, so I just like really encourage you to like evaluate your business, even though, I mean, it's only March, you still have so much time left of the year, and say like, what, I keep waking up and doing the 3 vital behaviors every day, keep taking the same picture with my shake, keep posting the same workout video, then you shouldn't expect a different result. You know, you have to do something different. And I feel like with social media changing so much, we have to adapt to that because we don't have control, basically. So a lot of people ask me like, what switched for me in this last year, because it is pretty crazy to go from, I think I ended, well, this time, March of last year, I was 350, just to give you an idea. I posted on social media, so I knew that for a fact. And I had 1 diamond, and then that diamond quit, and then 6 months later, another diamond, and that diamond quit. And so I ended the year diamond, which is so discouraging when you feel like you work so hard. And I was just like, how am I ever going to get to this like 5-star elite? Because that was my ultimate goal. My goal was, just to also let you know, my goal was never top 10 ever. It was not even on my radar. Not even something that I was like, well, that would be cool. Like nothing. Like I would always see the top and I'm like, oh, that's so great. Like they're amazing. But I never once was like, I could never get there. I never said that to myself, but I also never envisioned myself up there either. And so I think it was in December, I was doing pretty well. And then January, like 3 people put it in my ear, like, you know, that's like top 10 numbers. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then when we got the numbers in February, February, I was 23, and I was so like upset because so many people put this number in my head, and I was like, well, and I straight up texted my coach that day. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to work harder than I did in January. I don't know how that's possible. And then I did in February. And then here I am in March, the beginning of March, I said, I don't know how I'm going to work harder than I did in February. And then here I am with higher numbers than I did in both other months. So I feel like that's such a great example of like, I don't know how I'm going to work harder, but then just freaking doing it. Like I get so many coaches that are like, I want to do this. I feel like I want to do this. And I'm like, stop talking and just doing it. Just do it. Because I could have let that, oh, I'm not number 10. I mean, in the top 10, I'm 23. Just be like, well, I guess I'll just stay here. But I was like, no. Obviously, other people see my potential. I need to go all in. And one of the first things that I did in January was I texted my coach and I told her my Success Club goal and my recruitment goal. And I texted her, I said, my Success Club goal for January is SC 100, and I would like to recruit 18 new coaches. And she goes, no, you should do SC 200 and 75 new coaches. And like, I wanted to like legitimately punch her in the face, because I'm like, that is so scary. Like, why would you ever even put that in 200? Like, that's nuts. But I was like, okay, fine. Because I knew that she saw something in me that I wasn't seeing in myself. And she wouldn't just throw that number out there if she didn't believe that I could do it. And so I hustled, and then I think I hit SE 176 in January, and I recruited like 60 new coaches or something. But I'm telling you right now, if she wouldn't have said that to me, and I wouldn't have doubled my goals, tripled in some sense, like I would have gotten to 100 and stayed comfortable, because I knew I could get there. Like I knew that, like that would be a comfortable place for me. And so every month since, I just want to do better than the last month. That's my goal. My team's always like, should I double? I'm like, no, just do better than the month before. I tried to recruit more than the month before. I tried to get more success code points the month before and all that. And so like, that's been like a really big thing for me. It's just like always doing better. Even if it's by 2 points, that's fine. And so another goal I made for myself at the end of the year was, well, 1 diamond a month, like, because my goal is 5-star elite. I can't just wait until November to get all these diamonds. And so that also took from me doing something that took me to do something different. Whereas like before I would count on my coaches groups for her to run the diamond dashes and the emerald dashes. And I was like, no, I just got to do it myself. Like I've been doing like my own emerald calls and she's texting me, asking me what I'm doing. Like, because I have 4 girls advancing in a week. Like, so you just have to stop being comfortable. You have to do things that really scare you. Whether it's like a success club number that you've never reached or a recruitment. My goal is 5-star elite by summit. Scary, but like I'm closer than I was, last month, and that's something to celebrate. But how I kind of got in this mindset, because it might sound like, oh wow, like she's doing great. Like how did she even get here? Because I checked, and last March I was hitting SC. I think I was at SC 22 at the end of the month, and I'm sitting at SC 230 right now. So that is like huge, right? And I don't say this to brag. I'm just saying that I'm about to tell you how I got there. And because there was a big change that I made. And I'm sorry if some of y'all already watched the Beachbody Champions call, because it's kind of on the same thing, but I'm so passionate about it. And it's really what made a difference in my business. So I share it with all the calls that I speak on. So of 2017 was literally the worst year of my entire life. And I've been through a lot. I'm only 26, but I've been through quite a bit. And my husband and I have been together for 10 years, and there was nothing we want more than a baby. Like 10 years, that's just what you do after that long, And so in 2017, we had 4 miscarriages, and it was so hard. I thought 1 was hard, and then you have 3 more. And I was like, I don't know how. I even told my husband, like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of bed. Like after the second one, I'm like, how am I ever going to get out of bed again? The third one. Okay. Now how am I ever going to like go on with my life again? If you've ever been through that, then you know what I'm talking about. But I just like, it took a toll on my body. I was going through the motions, which I feel like is our biggest mistake as coaches, like to just go through the motions and just do what everyone else is doing. I wasn't really showing up as much as I should. I love going back through my Instagram feed because you can see where the switch happened. I didn't notice until my coach mentioned it to me. But, I didn't look happy, even though I was trying to act happy, and I feel like people can tell. And so I was just like, had the worst year of my life. And then August hit, and my husband was getting ready to leave for a military military event. And so I was like, okay, he's leaving. This is perfect time to start Shift Shop. That was when the whole hype came about Shift Shop. And I was like, okay, let's just start that Monday. I had bought my little like things, like whatever they're called. I never even got to use them. And I was like, this is the change I'm making in my life. And then it was that Friday, I got a call to do the 80-day session test group. And you might say like, oh, okay, that's cool, like test group. But you guys, that's not like 80-day session changed my life, but that's just a part of it. And so I love to tell people that when I got that phone call, I cried like a baby. And you can understand why. Like, that's a great opportunity. But to me, it was more like, this is what I've been needing this whole year. I have been like praying for something to like literally come save me and get me out of bed in the morning and get rid of this depression. And like, I mean, honestly, I was praying for a baby, but like that wasn't happening. So I was like needing something else to like get me out of this. And because it was a dark place. And so I cried so hard, and I called my husband like 10 times, and he thought like one of the dogs died. But I'm like, no, this is huge. Like, this can change my life. And he's like, you're right. It can really change your life. And so I sat on my bed, and I sat there, and I thought, but I have 2 choices, which was, I feel like we all do when we start a new program. We have 2 choices to either let it like change our lives and like do it fully, or kind of sort of let it change our lives. And it was that moment I was like, I'm going to let this completely change my life. We were getting ready to see a fertility doctor. So I was like, cool, I'm just going to put that on the back burner. And so I made that decision that day, and it took a lot of mental prep, which I feel like we almost forget sometimes, like, because we just see all these new programs come out, we just start them. Like, no, prep about and like think about what it can do for your business and your life if you just stick to it. And so I always tell people the reason I cried is because it felt like the biggest gift in the world. Like, it felt like I was just handed the answers to all of my questions and like fears and like everything that was going wrong in my life. I felt like I was just given the answer to that. And so now I talk about the programs like they're a gift, and I invite people, and I used to be so scared to, because I'm giving them a gift. And the same thing is the coaching opportunity. I'm sure you guys like this, you guys have seen it change your lives, and more like, I mean, it was doing things for me before this big year happened, but I'm like, this is such an amazing gift. Why would I ever want to keep it to myself? And also, there's an Emily out there that needs this like I did. And so that's when I became more confident in my sharing. And like I said, if you go to my Instagram, you can see the shift. And then that's when I became like more confident in myself when, you know, I started seeing results and people can see that. And so I was just like, okay, well, from now on, and that was, I think, I started really seeing things happen in like November. I was like, this is a gift and I want everyone in the world to experience it, you know? And you guys, even down to like my sister, obviously has known that I've been a coach for 4 years, and she joined me when that like mental shift happened. Like my sister even saw it. And so it's just been so cool to like stop thinking about Success Club numbers and like, oh, I have to invite 3 people. No, like I get to invite 3 people today. Like there's just, I'm going to give you one example of one girl I invited. Actually, I think she was one of the first girls I invited after I had this mental shift, and I was so scared to invite her. And now she's one of my rock star coaches. She is sitting at SE 36 this month. Like, she's just killing it. And she was someone that I was like so afraid to invite, but I was like, she needs this gift. And so I really encourage y'all to like change your mindset and really think about, well, like, who can I give this gift to? Not so much of like, how can I get to diamond and how can I get to stardom? And like, no, I want to like, so now I pick and choose like who I can give this to, because like I mentioned, there's someone out there with a story like mine that needs hope and needs out of their depression. And you guys, I lost 21 pounds with 80-day obsession. So I'm not saying that my life kind of changed. It changed completely from the like inside out. I just can't even tell you. People, my first compliment I was getting on my pictures when I started posting was, you just look happier. And that was one after another. And I just couldn't believe that people could actually see that. And so I think, you know, my biggest points today is stop thinking about Success Club numbers and recruitment and all that, and start thinking about who you can give this gift to, whether it's their like their fitness or the business. And then also like, don't forget about the importance of being a product of the product. Like, I was a coach for 3.5 years before I realized the importance of being a product of the product. And I'm telling you, the girls that are going diamond tomorrow, the 4, are the ones with the craziest, like not the craziest transformations, but like the best stories, and the ones that are sharing every bit of their journey, and the ones that are like seeing results of ADD obsession. And I was like, this isn't just a coincidence, you know, like people are like falling in love with like their journey and watching them actually follow through with something. And so now you're going to be trusted when you do that. And that's exactly what these girls are doing. And I have tons more that are like killing it too. And they're so close to diamond as well. So it's just pretty cool that I was just like, because people ask me like, what's your onboarding system? I'm like, what are you doing to get these girls like hitting Success Club right at the gate and all of that? And I'm like, I'm telling them to share their story. I know a lot of coaches will say, wait to sign up until after you finished or you're in the middle and you've seen. I'm like, no, like, what if I would have stopped sharing because I didn't like where I was at on day 1? What if I said, I'll come back on day 50 because I'm not really comfortable in myself right now? There's no way I would be even on this call right now, because people were messaging me after the fact and they were saying, Emily, I saw your life and your body change right before my eyes. And that is the coolest thing. And that is how you gain trust. And that's how, you know, how people are going to join you. And so I just really want to like let you all know that like being a product of the product is so important. Don't forget it. Even if you don't have a transformation to make, that's fine. You're going to gain people's trust by showing up every day and sticking to something. I'm reading the book, I'm sure almost every single Beachbody coach is right now, that Girl Wash Your Face. It's like super popular. And I read a portion yesterday where she was talking about, are you going to trust the person who like starts over every time and starts a new diet every Monday and, you know, is always like falling off track? No, you're probably going to trust the person that stuck to what they said they were going to do in every way of your life. You're not going to just trust them for your fitness journey, but you're going to trust them to help you with coaching, and because they see that consistency, and people want that consistency too. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or anything yet. I saw Rachel said, how do you take care of that many people and make sure they get the support they need? I think it's awesome. I just want to manage it. Yeah. So that's a big question I get. And I'll be honest, I'm not perfect at it yet, but I run my groups on Facebook. And one thing that's helped me is scheduling my posts so I can spend more time engaging with them. And so every night at the same time, I will go through and engage with every single person. And you guys know you're going to sign up 50 people, but not all of them are going to be active in the group. And so how I keep track of the people that are active is when I do my follow-ups for like challenge groups, I follow up with them at the same time. So I used to think that I would have to like have this like spreadsheet of like everyone, like, no, I find it so easy just to go through and be like, hey, are you interested in a challenge group this month? And then go up to the next person. Oh, she's in my group. That way I can like see their face too. I don't really like email because I like to see their face, because when they message me, I don't want to be like, who are you? And so then, because, you know, with big numbers like that, it can happen. And then, so when I follow up with people to join challenge group, I follow up with my challengers at the same time. And that has worked really well for me. And they appreciate it, because that's the only curse I feel like of having high numbers is people know you do. And so they think that like they're just another person. And so I know that they like appreciate it when I personally reach out to them. And as far as like my coaches, I do something that's probably a lot more work, but I like spend a whole like part of my day doing it at the first of the month. I will personally text all my coaches and invite them to our Get Started Right call that my coach and I do. And I mean, just to give you an idea, my coach did it in a group message and I did it personally. And I think she got one response back and I got almost all of them back. So that personal touch, I feel like, is just so helpful for people. And it's a lot of work. And I do have my husband. He helps me sometimes. But for the most part, I talk to everyone because I want them to always know that they're talking to me. And that way I can get to know them too. But I feel like also when you get coaches, you kind of know who's the serious ones because they like come to you, and, you know, so but I give everyone a chance by reaching out to them first. And I did the same thing just, this month I reached, so when there's a week left of the month, I text all the girls that have SC points on the board and just let them know that they're so close and I'm proud of them regardless. And they love that. And so I'm just like, what can I do to help you? And some of them have hit it since. So that did a lot for me last month. So that's why I keep doing it.
Awesome. Are you going to keep going, or do you want us to do questions?
Questions is fine.
Okay. So I'm just going to rapid fire ask you questions.
No, it's fine.
And I kind of know the group now and I know what they're going to ask. But they'll probably put in, you built your business on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to my husband about this last night because it just kind of sucks because Facebook is like not doing so well. And I worked so hard to get all these followers on Facebook. You know, I'm sure we all have. And I remember my coach said, it's not about how many followers you have, it's about what you do with the followers.
Yeah.
And so my followers have grown a lot, but I'm like, honestly, it doesn't get to me more because I just want to make sure I'm giving them exactly what they need and I don't want to get comfortable. But yeah, I would say that 80% of my business today comes from Instagram. Mm-hmm. But that took a lot of like learning and failing. Yeah. Like I said, go through and check my Instagram. You'll see that where the shift happened.
Yeah.
But
so it's been more mindset and belief. So, and you said something too, where it was like, I want to give my followers what they need. Mm-hmm. And so it like, was there a shift in that you were saying to yourself, I'm not just going to pat myself on the back all the time, but I'm going to give them, like, talk to them in such a way, like put yourself in your shoes from before. So like things that you changed that you noticed you had more engagement versus before.
So it was honestly just being vulnerable, like, which I feel like my coach is Ashley Molstad. I don't know if you'll know that, but she's really good about that, and like sharing every part of your life and not just like the all the good stuff. And so I noticed that the more like real I got with my followers, the more that they just like gravitated towards me and would message me more and all that. And so I just share like every part of my, like, you know, we're going through infertility. I share so much of that, and it's hard, but I know someone wants to hear it. And I get so many women that are going through the same thing that need what I got. So that's what I've learned has like really shifted a lot of things for me, is just like being real. Like one of the best compliments I get is, you're so genuine, and these people don't even know me, but they see it through my posts. So that also, I feel like, takes not going through the motions. You know, if you're going through the motions, people don't see you being genuine. But if you're like sharing every part of your life, even the really crappy stuff, and there's a good way to share it, you know, you don't want to ask for a pity party. But I don't know. I just felt like I'm just so much closer with the people that are on my newsfeed now.
Gotcha. So when it comes to getting new customers, do you really focus on fitness? Is that really where you're big? Or do you feel like, how do you balance like the fitness? Do you bring people in right from the start and sign them up as a coach? Do you like wait until you see people that you think would make great coaches? Like what's kind of your approach and system for getting people in?
So I went to New Leader Conference for the first time, and I think it was Bonnie. She said, you attract what you talk about. And so I was like, okay, that's why I'm not getting business builders. Like that's why I'm selling a ton of challenge packs, because that's what I talk about. And so I made it from that point, okay, now I'm going to talk about the business opportunity twice a week. Mm-hmm. Because that's what I need. You know, I need people that are going to want to work this. And, you know, how do people know to join you if you're not talking about it? So anyway, so that is kind of how I get people now. I feel like I talk about the business opportunity at least twice a week, and then, you know, challenge groups as much as however I want. But I think it starts with fitness. And like I said, people think that you have to wait till you have an after photo to be successful at this. And I'm like, no, you don't. And so I get people on board right away. And I say, like, when they say they're ready to sign up and do 80-day obsession, I say, are you ready to like share every bit for accountability, and also like the possibility of inspiring a ton of people? And they love that because they saw me do it. You know what I mean? They probably wouldn't like believe that works unless they saw me do it, and they did. So I think that's why so many people are signing up right away as coaches, because they're like, okay, like I saw this change her business by sharing every step of it.
Perfect. That is really important. Yeah. And, you know, I think people are guarded. They're afraid of the judgment. So they keep everything surface level, and they don't actually share all the steps of the journey along the way too.
Yeah. So. And I always say people don't relate to the destination. They relate to the journey. And so I'm telling you, if like I would have lost 21 pounds in private and said, here, like it would have inspired some people, but the fact that people saw my life change before their eyes, I think was the best part for them. And I mean, I have all my girls like that sign up right away. I'm like, start from today, day one, share it. The days that suck, share it, you know, like just then one day you're going to see this as the best gift that you were ever given, and people are going to be able to see that from the outside.
I love the confidence, just the straight up you, when you're talking to a customer, it's like, are you ready to openly share this journey? So, you know, right from the beginning, give this gift to somebody else. So kind of plants that seed, even if they aren't quite ready, at least you kind of put that in there, I think. And the gift, like, and two guys, you know, I think people get in their heads about, oh my gosh, I'm burdening people by inviting them to become a coach. But you really have to say, like, their life might look beautiful on social media, but you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what they need in this moment. And you could be giving them a key to that freedom that they, you know, didn't even know was out there. So yes. There was something else, and then literally, I swear to you, it just left my brain. I don't know where it went. I don't know if it had something to do with Instagram stories or.
Oh yeah, you were asking about Instagram.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was.
I mean, I know. Okay.
Oh, I remember. Okay. So of course, like I know people are coming to you at this point, like that's always what we're trying to get to, but do you still find yourself like connecting with a certain amount of people, like searching hashtags, looking for your target? And I hate to give people like a number that they should go towards, but kind of how do you find you? Like, what does that kind of look like?
Okay. So I go through, and follow like some people that look like my tribe. And then I go to their followers, and that's kind of like how I find people or people that they follow. And, that's basically how I find people. And I also like, I know it sounds so stupid, but I want to make sure that like I wake up with 20 messages in my inbox every morning. Like I always go to bed with an empty inbox. Like I try my hardest to empty it, but then I also want to make sure that I wake up. So I send those invites before bed, or send those invites before bed and make sure that I'm going to wake up. So it's almost like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, it's like a habit, I guess. And I crave that. I'm like, hey, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up, and it sets me up for like a successful day too, because I'm like, okay, now I have 60 messages to get to. Mm-hmm. And a couple of my tips that a lot of people ask me about is every day I write down the success number and success club number I'm at in my calendar. Mm-hmm. And because I don't want to wake up to the same number. So like even if it's two points more, I'm like, okay, well I got to talk to 20 people, because otherwise you're going to be sitting at this number in the morning, you know? And so like, I know it's so stupid, but like it motivates me so much to talk to more people and invite more people. And so, and then also it helps me know if I'm like on track, because I'll go through and be like, oh, I feel like I'm doing really good on the 15th of the month. And I'll go back to the last month on the 15th. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm on track to do even better or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so that's just one of my tips. By writing that and seeing it every day motivates me, because I always want to be better than I was the day before and the month before. And another thing is at the beginning of the month, I just have these sticky notes sitting up here that say my recruitment goal, my SC goal, and then like, the elite point goal. And so I'm very visual. So seeing those things every day is like what gets me out of bed. Like I want to be able to, if I'm sitting up here, like, I don't want to do this today, I'll look at that and be like, remember your goal on the first of the month. And I don't know if that kind of went a different way, but
I'm like that too. I write it on my whiteboard, and then I do the same thing. I try to up my number every single month, from the month prior. I'm a sticky note person, so I relate to that for sure. Okay, last two questions and then we'll let you go. How do you have help? So do you have an assistant that helps you, or do you do it all by yourself? And number two, what is the average number of hours you work per day?
I don't have help and I really do need it. I'm not going to lie. But my husband, he's been like scheduling all my posts for me and stuff, which is like a huge help, especially with the 80-day programs right now. So I just have a really good system. Like I do the same thing every day, but last week I was running a sneak peek. And so I was working like, I think it was Wednesday, I worked like 14 hours, which is not something I'm proud of. But like, I know like I've had some people that want to sign up. They're like, you work so much. I'm like, but you have to work towards your goals. Like my goal was never top 10 before, but now it is. So I'm going to work more, and I want to end the year knowing that I did everything possible to get there. But like when I first started, it was an hour a day, but you guys saw how far that got me. And then like, it was like 2 hours, and it never really went more than that, than a couple hours a day. And so no, I do not have help, but I need it. Someone messaged me on Instagram the other day and asked if I'd be interested in her help. And I'm just also, I don't know if you're like this, Melanie, but like, I don't know if anyone can do it. Like, I can't, like, it sounds so like weird, but we all have our ways of like, we invite, and I'm like, it's almost going to take more time to like tell her how to do it than it is.
Yeah. I'm a control freak for sure. But I will tell you that, okay, I had like a knockdown sort of breakdown where I was like, I'm working all of the time. I have no life, and my inbox is suffocating me. I remember kind of getting to that point. And I would delegate little things like where your husband scheduled posts. That was kind of what I delegated at first. But when I hired somebody, I made all the wrong mistakes. Like I just hired whoever said they would help me at the beginning. And then when I actually got an assistant, I interviewed the person and I was like, I want somebody like that is my tribe.
Yeah.
And so I did kind of what we do with coaches, but with an assistant. And I found this girl, and I even talked to her about what my vision and my mission was. And now she's like an extension of me, and really, but that was the best thing in the world. It was there would be no way I'd have been able to make a step to kind of where I've progressed to in leadership if it wasn't for that administrative stuff, So anyways, I'm always curious. I've been really shoving my team to get help, even if it's just a couple of hours a day, because I know that that's 2 hours a day that they can actually spend doing things that have a greater return on their investment. Sure. I was kind of hoping you were going to say yes, because it would be.
I'm not saying that I shouldn't. I'm saying that I need, like, literally, it's almost like this is so bad, but I haven't had time to find one. That's literally where I've been at the last month, that I'm like, everything took off, and I'm like, I don't even have time to think about one. So I don't even have time to respond to the girl that wants me at this point. So I think I'll probably get one. My husband gets deployed in July, so I'll probably get one then, because I won't even have him.
Yeah. Well, go on Indeed. Indeed.com is a really great place.
Oh, really?
That's where I found my assistant at. So, yes. So anyways, any final questions, guys, before we let you go?
Ask me anything.
What do you use as a tracking system for your customers and coach leads?
I am a paper and pen. I write. Yep. I write every name. And I feel like it helps me. I know it probably sounds so, but when I write their name, I'm like, hey, I'll go to their Facebook and find out who they are. So I can I know their face too, and their name. And so I seriously am probably one of the most simple people you ever meet. I know that, Melanie, I listened to you at the New Leader Conference. You have all these calendars and everything.
Yep.
I don't really admire that, but I just don't know that I could ever do it.
But you can get to that point. I did paper and pencil forever. I didn't have a tracking system until recently. Google Streak helps a lot, when it comes to managing contacts. But it's good to know that you have this success that you're having with paper and pencil.
Yeah. But then I also wonder, Melanie, could I be more successful if I was more organized? But I think before we get off, I've been wanting to say this and I keep forgetting, you have to act like what you want to be. And I try to put that into my team. If you want to be a 2-star, then act like a 2-star. If you want to make 6 figures, act like you're making 6 figures. And I think I spoke on a call in January with my team for Ashley after the New Leader Conference. And we got off the phone and she was and at this point, I thought I was we didn't even get elite numbers yet. So I ended December 130 or something. And she's like, you're talking like a top 10 coach. And I was like, okay. But look at now. So I think just walk like you're already it, and you already got it. And I feel just confidence and knowing that you can get there is huge. And it might sound so stupid because you're just oh, that's just a mindset thing. But if you act like it, it's going to come across on your posts, down to your coaches and everything.
Yes. So that is perfect. All right. Will you give us a challenge for the day?
Oh my gosh. I challenge you to go find 10 people that you are scared to death. You look at their Instagram and you admire it. You're so scared. And ask them if they've ever thought about doing what you do. Because that's something I've done differently this year and it's really worked well for me. I think Bonnie said at the New Leader Conference, she said, just compliment them and be if you're not a coach already, because that's a compliment to them. Yeah. So I'm always hey girl, I've been wanting to ask you for so long, but I guess I've been just too afraid. Have you ever thought about doing what I do as a coach? If you aren't one already, your feed is just so inspiring and motivating. And I just feel you would just do really well with this.
Perfect.
It's that simple. And I've literally had so many people sign up with that and they're killing it.
Wow. Awesome. Perfect.
10 of those.
Okay, 10 of those. I'll put that in the group so that they have a challenge for today. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it that you gave us your time and you didn't have to. And we're very grateful to your knowledge and we're rooting for you. So good luck this year. And with your business success, it sounds like you're going to be on that top 10 trip, which is so much fun.
Thank you, guys.
So keep it up. So thanks so much, guys. And I'll post the recording and get that posted in the page. I'll do a little takeaway and we'll work on our 10 invites. And I will see you guys back here next Monday. Have a great rest of the day and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, guys.